Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani. How are you feeling?
As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidel Hill, the modern man. Good morning. Jodie Soul, good morning. Fabna Reddy, good morning. Elise Woodbine, good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon, good morning, sir.
Shut up, for f***'s sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizzie Jackson Barrett, good morning. Josephine Sandra, everybody, good morning. Good morning, shaky bums. It's Friday. Welcome to the show, Rise Up Show. I have no eyebrow. I do have eyebrows. I have horrific eyebrows. So whilst I talk to you this morning, I'm going to arrange my eyebrows. So if anybody's wanting a tutorial in how not to do your eyebrows, now is your opportunity. Welcome to the show, Rise Up Show. With me, your host, I am the Queen Bee, Dani, serving you some ravishing red realness this morning. I didn't realise, but me and my guest, Salwa, this morning, we're coordinated. So we both rocked onto the show, and we both are wearing red, and we are resplendent and ravishing this morning. So I'm very excited to share with you the red realness. How are we all doing? Good morning, Nina Spencer, first past the post this morning. I'm doing my eyebrows. I thought I'd have time before the show to do them, but I haven't. But I'm here anyway. Good morning, everybody. Come and get in here. Come and get a cuddle. It's Friday. It is Friday. We've done another week in internet land, in social media land. We've done a year in lockdown. It's crazy. Everything in the news this week has been about a year, 12 months in lockdown, which will mean next week it is 12 months that we started the show at Rise Up Show, where I actually just started to put my makeup on and get ready for the work day with you so I wouldn't sleep in all the time. So it's very, very, very exciting. We've got birthday celebrations and all that kind of shenaniganery in the coming week or so as we celebrate our first birthday, and many more to come as the show changes and evolves. Bit of an exciting announcement this morning, you lot. I don't know if you saw, but your girl is on a billboard somewhere in America. No, I'm not. I'm on a billboard on social media, which is very, very exciting. I can finally formally announce that I am a part of a program called 4 Days to Change the World, which I am filming in Miami next year. No, I'm not filming I'm filming in Miami in June. It's going to be on the telly next year. Oh, my excitement. I'm tripping up all over myself, but it is so exciting. So yeah, it is. That's the official announcement of today. The second announcement is that I have almost 2 eyebrows drawn on properly. Well, I say properly in inverted commas. I cannot wait until my eyebrow lady is available to come and save and rescue these. I mean, they can only be described as like very small African caterpillars happening above my eyes. Is anyone else excited for the 12th of April? We get hairdressers back and beauties back and gyms back and all of that exciting stuff. It's a long time coming. I can feel it in my waters. The world is starting to open back up again, and we are bridging the gap with Be Inspired. Who has got their ticket? Let me know in the comments if you have got yourself a ticket to Be Inspired. 22nd and 23rd of April. We are bridging the gap as we wait for the world to open up properly. I'm taking my speakers for the jewel in the crown of IATQB, Be Inspired. I'm taking 22 speakers to a TV studio to broadcast to you 2 days of personal and business development. So please make sure you get your tickets. They are only £89 for 2 days. And if you want to get your ticket for free, get your ticket, become an affiliate, sell 4 tickets, and that's your ticket back. So for those of you that are struggling, I've tried to make this as accessible as possible to support you. So if you are an affiliate, for Be Inspired. I'm going to create a little live for you. We're going to hang out next week. I'll do a little zoomy for you all. If any of you got any questions or you need any support for you affiliates, you are in with an opportunity as well. If working with me is on your list, I am offering up for the person that sells the most tickets a spot on my Be More Overnight Success Incubator kicking off in May, which is massively exciting. Let's have a little look. Jules, woo, I was stunning this morning. Thank you very much. I'm in very good company this morning. My guest this morning is also an absolute belter. We are rocking a red lip. Halfway through your second book, love it. You're an inspirational belter. Thank you so much, Jules. I appreciate that. Emsy Roscoe, saw your amazing announcement. See, the idea is this, you guys. The idea is this. The more exposure I get, the more people we as a collective can help. And what I mean by that is that we all do well when we all do well, right? So in our community, we've got people that are just starting out in business, and we've got multiple 6- and 7-figure earners, all of which, and everywhere in between, we've got pop stars and radio presenters, we've got hairdressers and nail techs, we've got activists and all sorts. In our community is rich. It is rich in a wealth of knowledge and abundance and incredibly like-minded people all coming together to lift each other up. And I just think it's amazing. So the more exposure I get, the more telly stuff, the more big things, the more I can say, hey, look at my girl from the Kintsugi Collective, Emma Roscoe. Go check her out. She's doing incredible work. I'm going to say, hey, look at my girl, Louisa Herridge. Look at all the work that she's doing. She's incredible. She's also a speaker at Be Inspired, and you don't want to miss that. Make sure you get your ticket. The more exposure we can get, the more people we can reach, the more we can lift each other up. And we all do well when we all do well. And in that spirit this morning, I would love to welcome our guest onto the show. In fairness, when I first came across this absolute Wonder Woman, I did one of them little sighs inside. It's a proper girl crush situation where when somebody brings to the table their heart, magic happens. When somebody brings to the table their mission and you see them start to forge forward with it, it is a magical thing to behold. It really, truly is. And seeing our guest this morning, not right at the very beginning of her journey, she's already started, but at the start of what is going to be a tsunami of incredible things, that not just for her but for the people whose lives that she is going to touch as part of her work, is just beautiful. It's beautiful to behold, and one of the reasons why I do this, one of the reasons why I do the job that I do, and one of the reasons why we have the Show Up, Wise Up and Rise Up show. So in the true spirit of IATQB, of saying I am the Queen Bee and we choose to fly anyway, please welcome to the show the glorious Salwa Abdul Hadi. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're twinnies this morning, Salwa.
I know. It's really nice. Even the lipstick and everything.
Well, once I saw you was rocking a red lipstick and the red, I was like, girl, I'm going to matchy. Like, we are here for each other this morning. Little twinnies. Salwa, welcome to the Show Up, Wise Up, Rise Up show. It is an honour and a blessing to have you on. Please tell us a little bit about what you do.
Oh gosh, right. Okay. Well, what I do, I am a empowerment and leadership coach. So I basically work with social entrepreneurs and women who are on a mission. And I help them sort of discover themselves, their authenticity, their confidence, and then step up into that leadership, because that's when you're somebody who wants to make social change in the world, your empowerment comes when you realize that you are a leader and you step up into that leadership, and anyone can be a leader.
Right.
But it's about being an authentic leader and really being who you are and embodying your own person and being that leader. So that's what I help them with.
That's what you help them with. That's what you help people do, and that's your business. But talk to us, because there's a very special reason that you're on the show today. And I want to just give a shout out to the beautiful Kim Rain, actually, who was originally booked into the show. And no, we're not sad. And Kim's not sad either. We've got Kim in on another day. But it is really, really important, as well, all of you know, that the more topics that we bring to the table, the better. The more diverse that we're being in our lineup and in our conversations, the better. And if there's something that I can highlight as part of the show to bring a bit more depth to you guys watching where you are, I seize every single opportunity and make lineup decisions based on that as well. And Salwa, you got into my inbox. And quite rightly so, because guess what? Closed mouths don't get fed. So a lady after my own heart. And I have a huge amount of respect for people that do reach out to me and say, hey, you know, I've got this thing. I want to highlight this thing. And can we use your show as a platform? I have a huge amount of respect for that. One of the things that I share, hell, I've written a book about it. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't ask, if you don't open your mouth and start to articulate the things that you want to influence and that you want to share, then how on earth is anybody going to know about these things? So thank you. But tell us the reason that you reached out to me.
Well, I am a very passionate gender equality advocate. And the reason I reached out to you is my new project. It's actually Muslim Women's Day tomorrow.
Right.
So the 27th of March. It's quite a new thing. It was set up in 2017.
So it's really new.
Yes. But it's already gained quite a lot of traction internationally. Mm-hmm. And their challenge this year is Muslim women talk back to violence. Again, massive thing that's really close to my heart. I really am passionate about not just gender equality, but oppression and violence against women, and also patriarchal societies and fighting that cause as well. So I thought, right, I've got to get involved. Because I'm a proud Muslim myself.
You are.
And for International Women's Day, I actually did a campaign celebrating Muslim women and rising up leaders who were Muslim women to sort of break those barriers and those stereotypes that what we as Muslim women, some of us, face challenges within our communities, but also the wider stereotypes that, you know, we're there just to be sort of meek and quiet, when actually there's some very powerful Muslim women out there.
Super powerful Muslim women out there, and I am proud to know lots of them and proud to know you, and to share some of your stories, some of the background around Muslim Women's Day and the importance of it, and particularly, like you say, around that conversation. There are lots of stereotypes out there. There are lots of, you know, expectations, both within Muslim culture and outside of Muslim culture, of Muslim women. And thank you so much for bringing this to the table for a topic of conversation this morning, because it's something I'd love to learn more about. And also, I know that if we can break down some of those stereotypes and we start to open the door and share the platform with our incredible, strong Muslim leading women, and encourage as well, right, Salwa, encourage those people who may be sat there thinking, you know, I've got this inside me. I've got this leader inside me. I can feel it. I'm leading myself. I'm leading my family. There's more for us to be able to be reaching out to our sisters and saying, hey, there is, come on. So talk to us more about it. Talk to us about how did you find out about Muslim Women's Day? How did it start?
I think because part of my campaign, because it was so successful that I did, I left the group open and I'm continuing with it. And part of it was I was highlighting historical Muslim leaders as well.
Right.
So every week I do my research, finding out more historical Muslim women, and also big leaders in the world that are Muslim women. And that's how I fell upon Muslim Women's Day. And I was like, oh my God,
there's a day, come on.
And again, it just felt right that I thought, right, no, I need to do something with this. And the reason that Muslim Women's Day was brought up by Muslim girls was that they wanted to raise the profile of Muslim women within the media and the wider societies. So again, that's in alignment with what I was wanting to do.
So when we talk, as if we speak to the stereotypes just for a second, that often the perception of a Muslim woman is that she is homemaker, that she is this is a stereotype, and certainly not my beliefs, by the way. I'm just trying to kind of bring it to the table. Is that she is the lesser in the household, that the man is the stronger and therefore superior in the household, that lots of Muslim women experience. And maybe this isn't such a stereotype. Maybe this is, the reason why we're talking about this, the reason why this is the topic this year, is that they experience violence within the household as well, and in the wider world, in the wider community. Where do those stereotypes come from?
Well, this is another thing that I'm very passionate about bringing to the table, because I grew up in Saudi Arabia, so the most patriarchal society you could probably get, and also a patriarchal home. And I started to be, and I was taught that women were inferior, that my place was to be second class, that my aspiration was to be a mother and a wife, and that was it. That was my box kind of thing. And, I loved being a mum. But as within that culture, I actually believed that was part of my religion as well. So I kind of had this battle going on in my head where I thought, well, surely I can do more, but then I want to be a good Muslim. And I also had the battle where I was thinking, well, it can't be right. If Allah is so merciful and so beneficent, then how come he's saying that women are less? How can that be right? So I struggled myself a bit with my religion.
I think this is the difficulty. Sorry to interrupt. The difficulty is the struggle between culture and religion, isn't it? And this is a lot of what we see with the misconceptions, is that culture is in one hand, and yes, often it's led by religion in the first instance, but actually when you start to break a religion down into its most beautiful and purest form, and there's lots and lots and lots of similarities between all of the main structured religions, however we look at it, huge and beautiful connections and similarities and differences as well. But when we start to really look at it, and is this something that you found that actually that there is space for strong and powerful women within your religion, right?
Yeah. Well, when it was actually a counselor that pointed out to me, and she said, this is just a version of Islam. This is somebody's interpretation of Islam. So I then went back and I started studying Islam myself, and I read the Quran myself, and found that it, like you say, it was this beautiful religion, and that we are completely equal within the religion. And all these things that we were being taught and spouted out, that a man has rights over a woman. Well, yeah, he does, but a woman has rights over a man. They forget to tell you that bit.
The bit that serves the guys isn't necessarily the bit they want. You don't want to tell them about the rest of it.
And actually, what's happening, unfortunately, in a lot of cultures is they're going back to pre-Islamic times.
Right. Okay.
So when Islam arrived in the world, they were actually burying baby girls in the desert alive because they were girls. Women were less than property. They were, it was a really, really bad time for women. But actually, Islam came in and said, no, women are equal. These are the rights. They gave Islam 1,400 years before American and UK women got voting rights and inheritance rights, gave Muslim women inheritance rights and human rights. Yeah. But it kind of just gets swallowed up, that bit.
Yeah.
And it's almost gone back to that patriarchal, but that's what I want to fight, that it's culture.
Yeah.
It's not the religion.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that, that really, I mean, one of many, because I think, as well we know, Islam is one of the most berated religions for many reasons, because of extremism, and there's extremism in every single religion. It's ridiculous how the very, very few really affect the many. And like you say, that the way that these stereotypes are spread is almost like these caricature extremists right at the edge of right at the edge, I guess, of the religion, where they turn it up, they amplify all the bits that serve them, all the bits that serve whoever it is that's amplifying it, let's be honest. When actually, when you start to boil it down, it is this beautiful religion. And you know, if you think about it, it's very peace driven. It's very, you know, if we start to look at it like that, it becomes super powerful. And you know, the work that you do, and this has been a real theme for the past couple of weeks, Salwa: when sleeping women awaken, mountains move. And it's a Chinese proverb, and every time I say it, it gives me goosebumps. And that's what I feel like is happening across the board. When we start, I've been talking to some of my Black members of the Black community and my Black sisters, and I'm talking to some of my brown sisters, I'm talking to people, talking to my Jewish friends, and I'm talking to all, trying to understand, trying to see my place in it and what I can do and what can help. And when I start to see people become more powerful, it's like opening up a whole nother situation that we're just at the beginning of, right?
Yeah, definitely. What I've noticed as well these last few weeks, that once there's more women actually starting to step up and say, yes, I agree with what you're saying, and yes, we need to do this. And you know,
come on girls, come on.
Phenomenal, I know. And but unfortunately what's happening is that it is happening within societies, even in the UK.
Yes.
And when you look at the numbers, just statistics, I can never say that word.
Statistics.
Yeah. They show that 63% of South Asian women suffer with depression and anxiety, compared to 23% of white women.
Right.
And also that, so not only, so what's happening, for instance, and I'm not saying all Muslim women, there are some very progressive families, alhamdulillah, but unfortunately there are some that are still attached to that patriarchal community.
This is generational. We're talking like this is generations and generations. We talk about cycle breaking all the time. We're carried in the wombs of our grandparents. We're carried in the wombs of our grandmothers. So when we're looking at cultural change, it's slow because it's generational. How do you break? It's like you're on a train you don't even know that you're on. And then, like you say, it's so this is not in judgment either of those areas of society where that is, because it's a long process trying to break those cycles and trying to move through.
Well, that's the thing, that the main cause, I think, is ingrained beliefs and attitudes that almost justify and accept violence because it's gender role expectations. So when I did my own research at university, that's what I found was the biggest thing. So from birth in the family, being taught, and again, it's more subtle here in the UK communities, but it's quite more extreme in sort of other patriarchal countries.
But it's still insidious. It's still here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the thing is, there's all this stigma and all this, it's honor and shame, and how the woman has to carry on her shoulders. Self-sacrificing is made to be this wonderful thing that a woman must do for the benefit of everybody else. Her well-being doesn't matter. It's everybody else. And if so many women justify and accept violence, and I'm talking mental, physical, emotional, sexual, all of it.
Yeah.
And also structural violence is happening in these communities because the women are being denied access to basic human rights and being denied to equality. And therefore, like you say, so any woman who faces violence within the home, it's extremely hard to come out of.
Yeah.
But for some communities, sometimes they're not just facing one man, they're facing the in-laws, they're facing more family, then they're facing the community.
And sometimes it's the vendetta that comes with that. It's like you say, the stigma. It's not, like you say, it's not just in that's not diluting, like you say, it's not diluting anybody that's been through this in the home, but you aren't just facing your perpetrator. Your perpetrators are all around you. Your perpetrators are your in-laws, your perpetrators are cousins, your perpetrators are aunties, uncles, your perpetrators are your community, are your village that have raised you. And whether that is intentional or not, whether that is, you know, that conscious or not, because like we're saying, this is some of this is ingrained. That how difficult it must be to extrapolate yourself, to like untangle yourself from all of that. And I think that's a fear that keeps a lot of Muslim women in their place, is that for what do they have then if they don't have the family, if the things that they love, you know, their kids even, or all of this sort of stuff. And there is, you know, stories and reports of vendettas that happen when women start to try and break out of this as well. When they try to leave or divorce, it gets quite violent in very scary ways, right?
Yeah, and it's about, like you say, there's as well, thankfully, alhamdulillah, we live in the UK where there are laws, there are refugee centres, there are ways to get out, because there are other countries where there isn't even that.
No.
But again, from personal experience, so I'm using this to talk about my personal experience to show other people as well, hopefully, that there are ways that, unfortunately, escaping is only the start. Because when you've had those beliefs ingrained in you, and for any woman leaving violence, but for those who have come from a patriarchal society, the guilt and the shame is the most crippling thing you can imagine. Because I grew up in quite a violent home, but also I then went in, my first marriage was violent, and the first, I just accepted it. I justified it. I was very young, and it was my norm. And I just thought, well, you know, if I'm a better wife, or, you know, all of those things.
It's all on you.
Yes.
No, if he was a nicer person.
Yeah. And it took him going for my 2-year-old daughter and me jumping in the way and stopping him and being held with a knife to my throat. For me to finally say, right, you know, and actually even then, I remember running to my mum's house with my little girl, and it was my mum who said, and she wouldn't have used these words, but I can't quite remember what she said, but she said, do you want your little girl to grow up as messed up as you?
Oh.
And that's when it hit me, and that's when
how is
even
any of
then
that right?
It took a while. Yeah, even then I didn't just leave like that, which, you know, but I did.
But the lock had clicked, I guess, by that point. Because I can only imagine, because that is definitely not my lived experience. It was the way I experienced domestic violence was much more insidious, and like the kids weren't involved and all of that sort of stuff. But I think there's always a pivotal moment in those relationships when you do want more for yourself, where the door feels locked for a very long time. You don't know how to get yourself out of it, and then something will happen. It might even be something small, maybe not even something big, where all of a sudden you almost hear it in your head like this, and you can't go back. You can't go back from there. Even if in that moment you go back, the plan already starts to unfold to try and untangle yourself from it.
Yeah. And you then have to work on your courage, don't you? And but even then, I didn't leave for me. I left for my daughter. Yeah. So again, even then I was doing the whole sacrificing but it took me years to get rid of those beliefs. And I went into another, it wasn't physically violent, but it was another, you know, emotionally and abusive marriage. And it just took years of, like I say, well, it wasn't till I got introduced to personal development in my 30s that I started to realize that, hang on a minute, I have meaning as a woman. And then again, further on, when I started to study Islam, and started to understand to actually, okay, I have rights, I have you know, but
this isn't being dictated to me by the Quran. It's not being dictated to you by Allah. It's not being dictated by all of these things. It's being dictated to you by years and years and years of people making those scriptures suit whatever it is that they kind of.
Yes.
Well, like you say, women become very powerful when women start to lead, and I would love to explore more of these incredible women leaders with you as well this morning, so that we can go out and go and like educate ourselves, go and find out about these incredible women, and like go and sit at the table with them and break bread with them and go and love him and all of this sort of stuff, and you know, and likewise as well. What I'm seeing right now and it's only in my little bubble of the internet, is so many more of us are kind of coming together, and we're gravitating towards each other, and we're starting to link arms and understanding the power in our shared experience, even though it's very different, to be able to help more people. And I know that's, you know, certainly within the realms of the wider work that you do. I know you've got your business, but this activism piece is huge. Where, Salwa, do you see that going? What sort of work are you doing right now to share this message?
Well, I'm actually starting up a social enterprise, so I'm working with the university to get that sorted. And I want to work within the Muslim communities, and I'm hoping to get into mosques and things. And the only way that we can really impact change for this kind of thing, like you say, it's so generational. You have to come at it from so many angles, and the only way is to come together, like you said. So there's political, there's social, there's economical, there's education, there's
it's like a PR campaign for rising women up.
Yes, the media, to get it out there, building awareness. But also the area that I know I can physically impact myself, but I also want to work with the wider things together, is getting educating around those gender role expectations, educating around what is the true Islam, what is it that, and giving these women confidence and belief in themselves and valuing themselves. So that's what I'm aiming to do. And I'll be doing that in workshops and things like that with them through the social enterprise. But part of this campaign for Muslim women, because it's about talk back to violence, I'm really excited because part of that is we're spreading the word. I've got men on board who are coming in and talking about it, which is so crucial.
We need our brothers to come forward and say like we're with you girls, come on. Absolutely. I hear that.
I know there's one imam who did a whole speech, because I don't know if you saw, but on social media there was a massive about this girl who drowned herself, unfortunately, because of domestic violence, and she posted a video saying goodbye. And it went viral, a Muslim girl, and this imam spoke up about it, which is unusual. So, you know, absolute kudos to him for standing up and saying this is wrong. The amount of times in the Quran that it says oppression is wrong, you know, but they're oppressing. But anyway, sorry, I get so.
I hear you. No, but get on your soapbox. Get on it. Like, I am here for it. I am stood next to you with the microphone like this, saying, say the things. Like, get passionate about it, because the more that we do, when people see what is actually happening out there for all of the different types of people that we come across, the more we are able to love each other better, the more we are able to support each other better, the more we're able to see our brothers, our sisters, our siblings in the street and say, hey, do you know what? I'm going to give you a little bit more understanding today. I'm going to give you a bit more kindness today, because nobody knows what anybody's got going on behind closed doors. Get on that soapbox. It's all good. I've got you. I'm holding it steady. Have a rant.
Okay, thank you. Well, I do want to say, thank you. But no, I do want to say, you know, this happens in a lot of other religions, like we've talked about, you know, Sikhs, Hindus, Jewish. A lot of those cultures have the same issues. The only reason I'm concentrating on Muslim is because I'm Muslim, and that's what I know. And we can't, as much as I want to go and save everybody,
We can't.
You kind of got to stream.
Let's work on let's be the light in our little corner of the world. And that's, it's not about us all of a sudden like trying to help everybody, you know. It's, you know, we're not that person. We're not the savior of everybody. But what we can do is we could be the light in our own little corner of the world. And Salwa, thank you so much for being a light in your corner of the world, because, you know, it's those small drops in the ocean that have a ripple effect. And no doubt, you know, as everything starts to grow in this particular area for you, as well as your business, you know, welcoming those leaders in, and when they start to, you know, remove those metaphorical shackles from themselves, and they realize that they can jump forward and be leaders and create business and abundance for their families as they should. I just think it's amazing that you're that light in the corner of the world. How do we find out more about your work, Salwa?
Well, I'm on Facebook under Salwa Abdul Hadi. I've got the Facebook group Celebrating Strong Women of Islam. That's where a lot of it's happening, a lot of the campaigns, and then LinkedIn as well. I do have a website coming very, very, very soon. It'll just be salwaabdulhadi.com.
Perfect. Easy.
Just quickly, the part, there is a way that I'm asking people to get involved in this campaign that I'm doing, because it's about Muslim women talking back to violence, but also the wider community coming together to support them. Is I'm running an I Pledge campaign.
Right.
So part of that is if you think about what skills, what resources, what time, what things have you got that you could maybe pledge. So for instance, Nikki James yesterday pledged a spot on her course for a woman who's in need. So I'm going to be helping women who've either experienced violence or experiencing it. And if one of them wants to go on and do a business, she's given them a spot on her course. But somebody might say, I will give 2 hours of coaching, or I will give 2 hours of my time just to listen to a woman who needs, or I'll come and make cups of tea when I can make physical workshops, or I'll come and give you 2 hours of admin time, or 2 hours of tech time. Just all I'm asking is that you come in and just say, hi, my name is so and so, I'm here supporting No to Violence Against Women, and I pledge this. I'm going to put it all together in a pool, and then I will be matching with women who come in and getting them things going forward.
Amazing. Well, I'm going to throw something on the table if that's all right. So as you know, we have Be Inspired. We run it every year. We run it twice a year, and the speakers are all graduates of my Be Inspired mastermind, and some VIPs, and we have some guests in as well. So I would love to pledge a spot on my next Be Inspired mastermind to allow an incredible leader coming through a place on the stage, the Be Inspired stage in September, if that's all right.
Wow, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
I think as a speaker coach, it is absolutely my job to be sharing the mic and the stage with as many people as I'm possibly able to. So it will be my pleasure to donate a spot for that.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm asking women who want to share their story and things like that. So that would be fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll post maybe underneath the instructions, because it's just like a little quick video, because I want to put a collage of videos together. Thank you.
Perfect. You are more than welcome, Salwa. It's an honor and a blessing to speak to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning to share with us this. It's been such an important conversation. Thank you for rounding out our week with us. For those of you that want to know more, please do reach out to Salwa. I know she's doing some incredible work, and indeed within her coaching practice as well, which is just phenomenal. Salwa, you're a belter. Thank you for joining us. And we'll speak soon, no doubt at all. Salwa Abdul Hadi, everybody. What a show this morning. It's been emotional. It has been soapboxy. Salwa, we've got Jojo Smith, who is pledging a SaaStorm Creative one-to-one session, which is amazing. Please do, Jojo, reach out to Salwa so you can have a conversation if any of you want to pledge any of your services, your time, your ability to make a brew. Please do reach out to Salwa, and we will post up details of how to make your pledge. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. My heart is full. As as ever it is when we have these incredible and important conversations. If you know of somebody who is inspirational, motivational, or who has something to really share, and you think they would be great on this platform, please do tell them about the show at Wise Up Rise Up Show, so we can have more of these fabulous, fabulous conversations. Right, you lot, it is officially Friday. We are sliding into the DMs of the weekend saying how you doing, right? Have a wonderful one. Go and rip it up today. Go and round out the weekend. I want to leave you with a quote today that I was tagged in by a wonderful, wonderful client of mine. And it's a Dr. Zeus quote. And I read it today and I was like, cool. Imagine if you did every day like this, right? So I'm going to live today as if this day is the day I will be remembered for. I am going to live today as if today is the day that I was remembered for. That was really powerful. I got a bit of goosebumps over that. And that is exactly what I intend to do, and try and check in with myself going forward when I start to feel the wobbles, when I start to feel like the roller coaster is getting a bit too fast and I can't scream anymore because I don't want to go faster. I'm going to remember that as best I can. I'm going to try and live today as if this is the day that I am remembered for. Have an incredible day today. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a beautiful weekend. Keep your peepers peeled over on Instagram at the Queen Bee. Dani, I am going to be taking you on a tour of the Hive HQ a little bit later on today. It's Sofa Day today, so we're having our settees delivered. We're very, very excited about. So yeah, expect pictures. It's not perfect yet, not that I'm making any excuses because it's still fucking beautiful. But yeah, so hopefully we'll do a little bit of a tour over on my stories. Huge love to you all. Look after each other. Remember, there is the reason why the show is called the Show at Wise Up Rise Up Show is because we do just that together. We show up, we wise up, and we rise up. Linking arms, festooning like some mofos. Have a wicked Friday. I love you.